just under 2,900 hits when it was all said and done. Dick Bremer, Bert Blyleven, joined by Twins general manager Terry Ryan. And for Vizquel, the story surrounding Vizquel, or at least the concern about him, was his hitting. And you saw his batting averages in his first 4 years in the big leagues, and there were grave concerns as to whether he would ever be able to hit enough to have as long a career, half as long as it's turned out being for Vizquel.
Again, this is his 24th year of Major League Baseball. And a fly ball to Carson for the first out. But he came into this year a .272 career hitter. So, you know, he improved on that. I mentioned Ozzie Smith, the same type of scenario. Ozzie, when he first came up, hey, great defense. Can he hit Major League pitching? That man right there, I think, has shown that over the years that he's hopefully a future Hall of Famer.
I think all of us use examples like Ozzie Smith and Vizquel and Bert. And I saw Vizquel when he played in Seattle, and he didn't hit. You know, we all wondered if he was going to, and if he did hit, you had a heck of a shortstop on your hands. And obviously we're hoping things like what's happened to Smith and Vizquel would happen to Florimon. Florimon's got ability, and now it's just put some confidence with his bat, and he's a little stronger than people think, so he can drive a baseball when he gets one.
Yeah, well, I think here in Toronto they kind of said, you know, hey, maybe he looked like Tony Fernandez a little bit as far as, you know, switch hitter, that tall, lanky strength.
We'll take that. Yeah, you know that. Tony Fernandez used to chew us up. Yeah, man, he was a phenomenal shortstop.
How about this guy on the mound right here? He's had a very good first full year, has he not?
He has, and you know, we saw him with Gwinnett a couple years ago, and there were a few of us sitting behind home plate when he was pitching against Rochester. This is kind of what he looked like that particular game we saw, and there were about 4 of us there. And I was wondering why last year it just didn't happen, and all of a sudden it's happening now.
Liner to left over the reach of Florimon, and a base hit for Moises Sierra. A 1-out single, and that'll bring up Anthony Goes with 1 gone here in the 5th. Terry, are you, as you look forward to 2013, are you happy with your middle infield in whatever combination it might form itself next year?
I think if you project out, you can be a little bit enthused about the middle infield. The kid at second base, we're just getting a feel for him. If we can get him to get within the strike zone, he's got ability.
Escobar,
the Florimon has ability. And he's starting to show some consistency on the defensive side of the game, which is what we're looking for. He's making the throws, and almost every one of them are chest high. And of course, Carroll's a dependable guy. There's no doubt about that. You put him at short, you can put him at third, you can put him at second. He's probably going to grind out a pretty good at bat. I wish the younger kids would watch him play. He doesn't make many mistakes ever, and all you have to do is look at the guy and realize that a 10-year career can be had. That guy has had to earn every innings he's ever played.
Well, we've shown him many times, you know, whether it's just a fly ball to left field, the way that he hustles out of the box is the way, you know, that kind of the way you should play the game.
And regarding Jamie Carroll and Pedro Florimon, Carroll didn't make his major league debut till he was 2 years older than what Florimon is right now.
Yeah, it is amazing. Everybody's happy for a guy like Carroll because he does everything that he should do with his skill set, and he's carved himself out a pretty good living. And I suspect that if he wants to stay in the game, he'd be the type of guy that most organizations would love to hire as a manager or a coach.
Well, that's what Omar Vizquel has said already, that he'd like to stay in the game too. And I mentioned it's nice to have those type of guys that have that track record teaching young kids the game of baseball the right way.
I can't imagine anybody not wanting to have a Vizquel in their organization either, because he could do a lot of things. He's got the resume. He's certainly the type of guy that you'd be able to rely on. He's got all those attributes of a leader, so that he'd be a tremendous asset to any organization.
Now, you could be at home right now, you know, getting ready for tomorrow and the winter, but you have been on the road trips. What does a general manager do on the road, Terry? I think a lot of fans might want to know. What are you here for?
Well, I'm here for support first and foremost, Dick. Bert, this has been a difficult year and a difficult stretch. I don't think a general manager can be invisible when things are going the way they're going for us. I also need to be here for the manager. We've got a bunch of coaches that are wondering about their future. We've got players wondering about their future. I certainly want to evaluate some of the younger players that we haven't seen a lot. Plus, when I come and see Toronto versus the Twins, obviously I'm looking at what Toronto has as well.
Down and away a ball. Asked you about the middle infield. Third base has been a very chaotic position for the Twins over the years, and now Trevor Plouffe is over there. Assess where he's at and whether you think you've got a third baseman who's going to be part of the solution here.
He could be, if he wants to get consistent on the defensive side of the game.
All right, there's a nice play going to his left and a good throw across the diamond.
He'll make that play, yet in another inning or so there may be a routine play that he ends up throwing the ball away, and that's concentration and a little bit of confidence. Obviously he hasn't played third much in his life, and here he makes a diving play to his left and gets up and gathers himself and makes an accurate throw. He should be able to do that because he's athletic enough. Unfortunately, it hasn't been consistent enough for us at this time. Now I'm going to have to make decisions on competition for the spot. The bat that he possesses, we should be able to find a spot in our lineup somewhere for that type of power. But it's going to be up to him whether or not he wants to show enough consistency on the defensive side to take that position.
Are you convinced that his future, whether it's with the Twins or someone else, is in the infield now rather than the outfield?
I am. I was concerned about the range and the routes and the jumps and so forth in right field. I don't think he, and I didn't ask him, and I hate to do this over the air, but I don't think he really liked it out there. And then all of a sudden we got Rivera and we've got Parmalee and we've got Hicks and Arcia and all these other guys. Maybe we don't have anybody on the verge of playing third base. The closest guy we may have is Sano, who's pretty talented, but he's a ways away.
Very young, right?
And error prone.
But as you mentioned, Terry, I mean, he's played so many other positions, almost what Michael Kadire was, as far as a Twin, playing everywhere, and then he finally found a home out in right field where Plouffe, he's trying to learn a new position basically at the major league level.
He is, and we've certainly exposed him, Bert. We've given him every opportunity to take this thing the second half of the season. That's one of the reasons we ended up trading Valencia. We didn't want any distractions, and of course it probably was time that Danny did move on, but we've got a kid here who's got some confidence, got some bat, he's got enough arm, he's got enough agility. But there is a lack of ability to finish off plays that you need, and obviously we've seen the lateral issues. He's got some lateral issues.
Well, I'm going to go over to the other side, Parmalee. I mean, while we have you here real quick, here's a guy that's conquered the minor leagues. I mean, about the only place left for him is up here on a regular basis.
Well, let's remember, a year ago today, he had a phenomenal September and he had a terrible start. Now he's having a tough September. Maybe next year he'll have a great start. Let's turn the tables. And Chris is a good worker. He knows, he kind of gets it. I can tell you that. He knows what he needs to do.
There's a fly to right, and Revere will retreat a couple of steps. Our thanks to Terry Ryan as he's made the long walk up the stairs here to join us in the TV booth.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Brent. Thanks, Ben.